So let's talk about the latest and greatest that is going on with Saitama and Saitamask. Okay. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the latest piece of information coming from Saitama themselves, having to do with Saitamask. As always, I appreciate you and thank you for your support of myself, my videos, and my channel. Let's get into this. Okay. So this came out from Saitama's official Twitter feed. Please see statement on Saitamask below, etc. All right. So there was an AMA yesterday that transpired and they covered all of this, but this is a really good recap of what is going on. So let's make that larger so you can see it. Perfect. Okay, cool. So it says Wolfpack, in the spirit of transparency, we'd like to form the community that we are temporarily disabling swap function on Saitamask. Okay, so basically that means you cannot swap Saitama for anything else. All right. And so you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Or, like why? All right. So it basically was to prevent right here where my cursor is further front running and transaction sandwiching from bots. Okay. You're like, what the hell is that? All right, here we go. While the platform is stable across the board with 90+% functionality, we notice that about 4% of the transactions are being affected by these bots. This is unacceptable percentage. This is an acceptable percentage by industry standards, but it is not acceptable by Saitama standards. And so what basically this is, I watched some of the AMA. In fact, I watched almost all of it. I had a whole family thing going on last night as well. Russ gave an example. He said, like, let's say you were trying to get $1,000 worth of Saitama as an example, just in this example. And so they were noticing that about 4% of the transactions that were going through were getting impacted by these bots. And so let's say you were one of the ones that got impacted by this. Let's say you were trying to do and get $1,000 worth of Saitama, just to keep it real simple. He gave a very specific example. He said, in that scenario, because let's say your transaction was one of the 4% that got impacted by this bot scenario, you would have only ended up with about $700 or so, $700 to $750 worth of Saitama, because that bot, was able to grab the other piece of your deal. Period. End of story. Okay. And so that's a specific example that Russ did give in the AMA. And so that's pretty significant. And it was being impacted across the board, about 4% of the overall transactions. This is why they have disabled the swap feature until they can figure out and get this rectified and get this fixed. By the way, this happens in Uniswap, SushiSwap, PancakeSwap. This does happen. It's something that's in the crypto industry, these bots attaching themselves to transactions and things like that. So this is not something specifically only in Saitamask. Okay, so I just want to make sure you understand that. Okay, so right here in this third paragraph, we have made a collective decision to pause and mitigate these attacks to get affected transactions as close to 0% as possible. We do not have an exact date of when we will enable the swap feature, but we are bringing on additional engineers to expedite the process and provide community support. Okay. In addition, we have received reports from users experiencing app crashes. This is crashes of Saitamask's app. An update was made to resolve these issues. We continue to monitor our app crash analytics to make further improvements and can report that in the last 24 hours, we've only seen 1,000 crashes across different platforms out of an estimated 3 million hits total, less than 1%. That's a pretty good number, as evidenced by that. As a result of this brief shutdown, the Lily Finance launch that was supposed to happen today, Friday at about 5 p.m., I think East Coast time, will be delayed until our swap function is reactivated. Okay, so the Lily Finance token launch is not going to happen today at 5 p.m., just FYI. A new launch date will be communicated when we have more information, because obviously for you to be able to get Lily, you have to swap Saitama for Lily. So that's with the swap function disabled. There you go. All right. For Saitamask FAQs, please visit our website, etc. Okay. So to bring this back to kind of where we're at right here, right now, the team has disabled the swap function. I applaud this decision. This 4% of transactions being affected scenario and people losing out on, how much tokens they should be getting because of this. Again, this is not a Saitamask specific issue. This happens on Uniswap, SushiSwap, those other swaps out there. It's something that's been in the crypto industry. It's just part of kind of crypto. I applaud what the Saitama dev team is doing here, is trying to rectify this issue to create an environment for you and I, the people that are using the Saitamask app, to have the best possible experience, and for them, and frankly, for them to protect us and try to help us in this capacity, I think is something to be applauded. So with that said, that's where we're at. As always, truly, I appreciate you. Thank you for your support of myself, my channel, my videos. I'll see you later. Go make some money. See you.